So, what are you feeling guilty about? The card I pulled is Growing Beyond Guilt. So, what do we need to look at? What do we need to do shadow work on? What do we need to um, put a spotlight on? So, let's talk about it. I know I usually shuffle and pull on video, and I always say that, for tarot readers, you should do that. But I was told to go ahead and do this. So, and it's funny because I was thinking about some things that I was feeling guilty about. Um, so maybe you are too, and maybe we need to talk a little bit about it and then do a guided meditation and to help get rid of some of that in your body. So, yes, the card is Growing Beyond Guilt, and it couldn't have happened any other way. And that saying is always interesting to me, and my therapist actually kind of said something similar to me is you can only do it the way you did it because that's where you were at the time. That's who you were at the time. You couldn't have done it any other way. So, like hindsight, they say hindsight's 2020, and that's because you've learned from it. You've learned from whatever you feel guilty about, whatever the mistake was. And that's why we're here on Earth. We're here to learn and grow and evolve. And I've said that many times if you've watched any of my other videos. Earth is school for us. So we got to get rid of the guilt because it's not a helpful emotion. Just like worry is not helpful. And the things that I feel guilty about, and the one I've been thinking about was I lost one of my cats. I was living in an Airbnb for a while, and I got home from work late, and there was a big lanai with a pool. So I'd let them. I had 2 cats and 2 dogs when I was living in this Airbnb, and I looked out to make sure the doors were shut, but the one was not. It was ajar enough that I couldn't tell, plus it was dark out. So I let everybody out to, the cats love, hanging out in the lanai. And 3 of them saw that the door was open, and they all went running around the neighborhood. I found my dog and my 1 cat, but I didn't find my 2nd cat. And he is bonded with my other cat. So I've been feeling guilty for about 2 years that I lost his buddy. And I've been feeling that lately because I lost his buddy. It's my fault because I didn't physically walk to the door and check it. The pool boy had been there that day and left the door ajar for whatever reason. The pool boy wasn't even supposed to be there. So I feel guilt about that yet. And he got very sick. I took him to the vet, and the vet was like, well, we don't really know what's wrong with him. Maybe you just want to put him down. And I'm like, I'm not putting my cat down. If you don't even know what's wrong with him, he was depressed. He had a broken heart. I brought him home, and I had to force feed him. He was so depressed. For about a week, I had to use an eyedropper because he was so upset. And now, he's much better, and, cats are kind of always present. We should be more like cats. But we're not. We're humans. And we overthink things and overanalyze. At least some of us do. I know I do. At times. When things are tough. So we have to grow beyond our guilt. We have to learn our lesson and get through the grief, get through the guilt, and move on. Learn that lesson. Let's see what the book has to say. When you grow beyond guilt, there is a heartfelt acceptance that any sequence of events unfolds in a perfect flow that is organized and expressed by the universe. This takes the pressure of control off your shoulders so you can enjoy the way in which life has come to be. Since everything is destined to change and can only change for you for the better, growing beyond guilt enables you to see how exquisitely the gift of life unfolds. This mantra is ideal for releasing the past, unhooking from karmic patterns, and forgiving yourself. Unhooking from karmic patterns, we had that card a couple months ago, I think. So check that video out. Yeah, we put so much weight on ourselves, and we're flawed. Humans are flawed. There's no way to be perfect in this life. I know I've tried to be perfect, but you can't. It's just not possible. It makes you exhausted and brings you down. And that's not great for your self-care. And that's why I have this channel for self-care. To help you release guilt and stress and maybe help with your anxiety and depression. But I know we've all been through things that just sometimes they linger longer than they should in our head. And I don't know if my cat Merlin is alive or dead. I put his picture on every freaking animal post and Facebook forum. And I got, a couple people thought they'd seen him, but I've never found Merlin. I still think about him, wondering if he's still somehow alive. Because I know a lot of people out in that area feed the strays. I've gone back. But unfortunately, Merlin was a very skitsy kind of cat. He would spook easily. So who knows? Hopefully he's still alive. I was working on calming him down a bit, at nighttime. I'd go in the bedroom and with my laptop, and Merlin would come and sometimes almost lay on top of the laptop. I'm like, buddy, you can't do that. And I'd watch the BBC show The Adventures of Merlin. Because I love things Merlin and King Arthur and all that. And he would lay and watch it with me. That was our thing. So I understand how hard, when you feel guilty about stuff. I would hope that Merlin wouldn't be mad at me. And I think Finn is okay without his buddy now. Because he and I have bonded since he's the last animal left. My 2 dogs have passed. But we do need to learn to move on. And I'm sorry. I'm still sad about it. But I learned a lesson, you know, because I remember when I was looking out, I heard in my head, you need to walk to the doors and make sure they're shut. And I didn't listen to it. So that was a lesson for me to go with my gut, go with my intuition. But I also know that, we make contracts to only be here for so long or be with certain people for so long. It's all karmic. It's just hard with animals because they're not humans and we don't communicate the same way. I worked with a lady that had a dog. She was really close with her dog, and the dog ran off. And I remember asking her how old the dog was, and he was quite old. So, I said to her, well, there are times where dogs will run away because it's their time to die, and they go off to do it alone. And she believed that's what happened. And she was from Japan, so some of her thoughts and stuff are a little different than those of us in America. She came here as an adult, but she agreed with that, and she felt bad because she didn't want him to be alone when he passed, if that's what he was doing. I know our pets are so important to us, and there are other people that don't have pets, that don't understand how they become part of our family. And there was never more of a lesson for me when I moved to Florida with my 2 dogs and my 2 cats, and now I'm down to 1, and I've been here a little over 2 years. So I lost 3 of my family in the same year. First, Merlin went missing, and then my 14-year-old Boston Terrier, Samantha Peanut, a month later, died shortly after I moved in here, the same day that the movers were bringing all my furniture. She had died like early in the morning. And that was March. And then in August, my 12-year-old Boston Terrier, Mario, who I called Baby Boo or Boo, he passed too. And I have guilt that maybe I could have done something more for Boo. I mean, Peanut was old, 14 is old for a Boston. Life hands us lemons. And we're supposed to make lemonade. Sometimes that's very hard, and I get it. I really do get it. So if you're struggling, let's see if I can pull myself together here. My apologies. And I'm tired too, so that doesn't help. Been dealing with insomnia. But we get through it. Somehow, some way, we get through it. And sometimes you get through it on your own, and sometimes somebody will say a little piece of wisdom to you to help you get through things. You did what you could at the time. And no amount of thinking about it now, trying to, well, if I did this and this and this, it's not helpful. It's in the past. We got to move forward. We got to stay in the present and keep putting one foot in front of the other. And if you need inspiration, if you have children, or if you have, fur family to take care of, then put your energy into that. put the energy into yourself with your self-care practice, and that's why we're here. I don't know that I introduced myself. If you haven't been with me before, I'm Crystal from the Crystal Center of Healing. That's my business. I'm an energy healer. I'm intuitive. I've done mediumship. I have a bachelor's in behavioral science. I grew up with a mother with schizophrenia and borderline personality disorder. I worked in IT for over 25 years. And then I worked in behavioral health, and that's when I got my degree to help me with kind of piece together the energy healing stuff and all the other stuff I do. Because I'm here because I feel like I have things to say about how I grew up, and we can't let the past ruin our present or future by what we experienced in childhood. If it was traumatic, you are not your childhood. You can grow past that. I'm living proof. I'll be 55 this year. I'm still here. I went through suicidal ideation most of my life till I got rid of that imprint through energy healing. A type of energy healing. So I'm living proof. You can get past things. You can move on. You can learn lessons and help yourself and other people if you choose to. You're not alone. Even though we feel alone a lot, I know most of my life I felt like I was completely alone, even with family around. I felt like they never understood who I really was. I don't feel like I belonged in that family. And sometimes I still sit here and think, wow, I'm really alone, aren't I? But I'm not. I have my cat Finn, which I'm surprised he's not in the video. He seems to make an appearance. He doesn't really want to say hi, but he wants to be in the frame. You have your spirit team, your spirit guides, your angels, whatever you believe in. They are there. They're energies that are around you. You get a guardian angel when you're born that stays with you throughout your entire life. You can always talk to your guardian angel, ask him what their name is. You can work with the archangels. I like to work with Archangel Michael, but I've worked with other ones. I like Michael because I consider myself, at this point in my life, a wounded warrior. And he's a warrior with his sword of light. He's helped me through a lot of rough times. Or you could have like a really great group of friends that can help you out. That you can, talk about things with, bounce ideas off. You could have a great partner that really listens and may understand, or at least try to understand. That's helpful. Listening is the biggest thing, though. And it's hard to find really good, what we call active listeners. I am an active listener. I worked with a girl when I worked overnights at the behavioral health place. And she goes, yeah, you're definitely a good active listener. Because I've always been an introvert, shy person, so talking, I don't feel like I have to talk. Like some people have a need to speak in groups. I mean, I could sit in a lunchroom, and it's full, and there's all kinds of conversations. I don't feel like I need to insert myself into every conversation. I do because I don't want to go back to that being so introverted that I don't really talk to anybody. I was like that in my 20s. I really didn't speak to people unless they spoke to me. So I was trying to work on that, and I'm much better now. And being in IT and customer service and stuff like that has really forced me to talk more. And even when you talk to strangers, sometimes you get a little lesson from that. When I'm at the grocery store, sometimes you're talking to somebody and they just tell you stuff, and it's just fine. I don't mind when people talk to me because I think that's why I'm here, is to listen. So if you ever want to talk to me, email me, Crystal at thecrystalcenterofhealing.com. You can put comments below in the video, and I will try to answer any questions you may have. That's why I'm here. Here to help if I can, or at least point you the right direction, or point you into some points to think about, some exercises to do maybe, because I don't have all the answers. I'm human. I'm not the higher power or anything like that. So let's do that meditation. Hopefully you're somewhere comfortable. Maybe in your self-care practice space. And you just need to sit with your feet flat on the floor. You don't have to lay down on the couch or sit lotus style or Indian style or crisscross applesauce or whatever you call it, depending on what generation you're from. I just want you to sit. Make sure you're sitting upright, your spine's not all wonky. Get comfortable. And I want you to take some deep breaths. If you want to put your hand on your stomach and your hand on the heart, that's good. Make sure when you're breathing in, you're breathing deep into your stomach. Because if you're breathing up here, you're definitely tense and stressed. We don't want that. It's not good for the body. We want to make sure it goes the whole way down. And inhale, and then make your exhale very, very long. Like you're releasing stuff. So do that 3 times. Then you can close your eyes at any time. Now I want you to think about what you might feel guilt about. Just pick one. Maybe the lightest one you feel guilty about, not some heavy thing. We'll start light. Then you can always come back and rewatch this and work on each one to the heaviest one. Now, how does it make you feel? Just take a minute to sort your thoughts on it. And know that you are safe. This is a safe space. So I want you to look at it like you're a third party looking at it. So you have a little bit of distance from it. And what were you feeling in your body when you started thinking about it? Where did tension arise or pain? If you got like frozen shoulder, or your heart started palpitating, you got a pain in your shoulder blade, That's usually how I get it. The shoulders or shoulder blade area. Now, wherever you feel it, I want you to take your attention to it. And I want you to visualize healing light in that area. Picture a color, or it can be crystalline. It could be colored crystalline. And just let it like clockwise swirl into that area. And this healing energy, this healing light is going to disperse the pain, disperse the stress, and clear up that area. Just focus that intention that you are healing. Make sure you're taking some deep breaths to help that alleviate from that area. Now, if you have another area, go to that one and do the same thing. Focus that crystalline light, that healing energy, dissipating that feeling, that tenseness, that pain. And remember, you're safe, you're in a safe space. You can let it go. Now rescan your body and see if there's still any pain left or tension left, whether it's in the areas that you worked on or someplace else. And if you still have issues, I want you to allow it to travel down your body, at your feet, and let Mother Earth absorb it. If you have to say gently to yourself, I no longer need your pain, I no longer need the tenseness, please leave my body and flow into the earth, where Mother Earth or Gaia will greet you and transmute you. Now focus that crystalline energy, bring that back and bring it into your heart. Just like you have a hose connected directly to your heart that's feeding you this crystalline energy, or if you have to see it like a channel, and just let that flow out from your heart throughout your entire body. Allow yourself to feel the love from this healing energy, this healing light, this beautiful crystalline light. And allow it to flow all through your body. You can let it flow into your aura, into a big bubble around you, or egg-shaped. Just allow all this energy, this light, to flow through you and to heal you. want you to repeat a couple phrases with me. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. You can keep repeating that. You can repeat those 4 phrases anytime you feel uncomfortable in any certain way. So come on back. Take a couple cleansing breaths. Maybe roll your shoulders a bit, wiggle your toes. So hopefully that helped. And the 4 phrases are called the Ho'oponopono. It's a Hawaiian meditation prayer. It's been around for a long, long time. You can look it up, the story about Dr. Hugh Lin and how he used it. He was a clinical psychologist who worked in a prison with some very dangerous people. So it's a very interesting story and how that prayer works. But let the guilt go, and I'm working on mine. We'll work on it together. We'll get through it and know we did what we could at the time. And just learn the lesson that, moving forward, I learned X, Y, and Z from this. And because I examined and reflected and I'm learning from it or have learned from it, that's the best you can do. So allow yourself to forgive yourself. And if you have to forgive the people involved in that, you forgive but you don't forget if there's certain circumstances that you can't, you don't want to violate your boundaries, is what I'm saying. It's kind of heavy. We'll get through it. We're still here. We're in the present moment. You're listening to me. You're safe. You're loved. Nothing to feel guilty about anymore. Thank you for being with me today. My name is Crystal from the Crystal Center of Healing. Please like and subscribe. And if you're feeling generous, I do take donations through my PayPal account, the Crystal Center of Healing, if you feel like helping a gal out. But until next time, take care. Love and light to you.